this. Fresh off the Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. Where niggas get gunned down and left slung from. Thumbs up for fucking round. This ain't accounting for you bitches to come around.
What up? What up? And welcome to another episode of the 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, my dear friend and co-host, Braden Bold. Braden, how are you, man?
Oh, David, I'm good. It's been busy. I've been in the grind, been in the trenches this past couple weeks, but it feels good, man. Some of the busiest times of my life. But it's nice. How about you?
I don't know. I was good, and then Thor kind of bummed me out.
David.
So let me give a little backstory to you. In preparation of this movie, I rewatched all of the Thor movies and all of the Avenger movies.
That's commitment.
Yeah, like I spent the last week, I watched a movie a day.
That's got to be like...
I watched Endgame this morning. It's a lot of hours. It is a lot.
50 hours?
I don't know about all that. There were 3 Thor movies and...
But all the Avengers movies?
There were 4 Avengers movies.
I thought you meant all
Marvel
Marvel
I didn't
movies.
watch Iron Man and all of that. No, I watched Thor and specifically Avengers.
That's good. I was going to be like, Dave, that's a bit excessive.
That's way too much. Yeah, it is, I don't know, 20 hours.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. But that's good because you're very familiar with everything.
Yeah, and those were all... Ragnarok is okay. Other than that, I think all of those movies are very good.
Yeah.
This was garbage.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. It's
So guys, we're doing Thor: Love and Thunder. If you clicked on it, you know that's what we did.
Yeah. We went and saw it in theaters.
Went and saw it in theaters. People were talking in the theater, but honestly, that didn't add to my mood in any way.
No.
Like, I was already disliking. So I guess it might have made it worse. I was disliking the movie, and then that guy wouldn't shut the fuck up, and I was like, I want to hit him. I want to punch a hole through that guy's face.
This guy was so, like, he had no awareness at all of, like, his surroundings, nor, like, of his voice. It was like Steve-O on steroids, like, raspy, loud, and just could not understand how loud he truly was. And I honestly...
Steve-O's voice is what you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not him, like...
this is how Steve-O on steroids would act. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, my bad. Did I not say voice? I meant his voice.
I think you did. I think you did.
I don't know. Sometimes speak too fast. But, yeah, the guy was... I honestly thought he was kind of funny. And I was waiting for it to get bad. Like, he got up and he put, like, a bunch of cans. And, like, the cans were making a bunch of noise because he was trying to balance them on, like, some type of box, like a pizza box or something. And he went to, like, throw it away. And I'm like, oh. He's, like, stumbling with it, too. And I'm like, oh, he's going to drop them and cause a scene and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and start picking them up. I was really hoping that was going to happen.
I'm glad he did. That would have been a huge distraction. Would have ruined the movie for some people.
But at the point where I was in the movie, I was like, "Give me something even more." You know?
Let's talk budget real quick. Let's give our ratings, and then let's jump into the movie.
Let's jump on in.
That guy, Matt Damon's in the movie, and because Matt Damon's in Thor Ragnarok, he plays. If you're not familiar, they do a scene from the previous movie, and they have like live theater. Matt Damon has played Loki's character now twice.
Yeah.
And he, like, once he realized what was going on, he goes, oh, it's Matt Damon! And then it was Matt Damon. He was like, ah! And he was, like, high-fiving his buddy next to him. And this early in the movie, I was like, oh, this guy sucks. This guy sucks.
And it's surprising, like, how star-studded the cast is. Like, it's pretty packed.
It's a fucking Marvel movie. Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah,
Disney
true.
Controls the world. They can get who they want.
Yeah.
They didn't need... Christian Bale's in this movie, and he was good. I don't know. But I also feel like Marilyn Manson could have done this role for...
Absolutely.
For a quarter of the cost that Christian Bale would have got. Like they just throw money. They don't give a fuck.
They really don't. You know, it's just... it just shows that if you have success... You're always going to be at the top, you know. Like if you're breeding success as like an actor, you're always going to be like the first choice rather than
for sure.
Yeah,
but that's also because like there are more. I bet you Marilyn Manson fans like Marvel movies.
Oh yeah,
there are more people. Like even today, it was a Marvel movie. If you go to Marvel movies, you know to stay through the credits.
Come on.
You know there's shit. And, like, half of the fucking audience walked out after the movie. And it didn't seem like, oh, it was a bullshit movie. It seems like they were just like, oh, the movie's over. It's time to leave.
Yeah.
And this is, like, the 20th Marvel movie. Like, you know.
Come on.
If you've watched, and, like, those people could have been fucking Christian Bale fans who are like, oh, Christian Bale doesn't make bad movies. Christian Bale doesn't make a bad movie. Let's go see this. It'll be great.
Yeah. And I think Christian Bale is honestly one of the best actors of all time.
He's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
Nothing against Christian Bale for my feelings on this movie.
Exactly.
I have higher standards for how a Thor movie should be start to finish.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the if I had to guess for Christian Bale, I would say this is probably one of the hardest movies he ever did, specifically because you don't have as much to play on for, like, I mean, obviously you always build your own character backstory and this and that, but for what the scene entails, how much dialogue that goes into it, like certain things, like there's less for him to play on, I believe, or that's the way I felt from it. Didn't feel like it got to show Christian Bale's range or performance skills as well as it could have.
Which is why I don't know if that makes this harder for Christian Bale. I think I would argue easier for Christian Bale because he's like, I get to just
harder for him
to say a few weird things and make millions of dollars. Like
harder for him to showcase though, like his skills
but he's Christian. He doesn't need to.
But you know what I'm saying, like
but like no one needs to see like, oh, Christian Bale can, like, he played Dick Cheney.
But that's what I'm saying is important to him.
He played Mark Wahlberg's crack addicted brother.
Yeah.
Like he
doesn't need to prove anything.
He's got range. Yeah. He this was his. I'm gonna make some money.
I'm just saying he probably keeps himself to like a certain standard.
The budget, my guess.
We're doing budget.
I'm guessing, yeah. That's how we always start.
True.
And right before we started recording, I said, "Will you pull up the budget?" And you said, "Oh yeah." And then you went, "Which one do I push, boss?" You did a whole thing, man. You did a whole thing about the budget, and then you clicked a bunch of tabs, and you were like, "We can't do awards though, because awards wouldn't have come out." And I said, "Yeah, just budgets and ratings." And you said, "Okay, we're good then."
Yeah, we're good.
So like, what did you? We're not. You got the budget?
No.
Yeah, so we're not good. My guess is $180 million.
So I don't know if they revealed it, is the thing, because it's not on IMDb.
But that big headline that says, scroll up to the top. I want to read that headline for everybody. Thor: Love and Thunder massive production budget revealed.
Yeah.
You think it's probably, if you only believe IMDb?
Okay, so I found it.
There we go. I was way off. $250 million. And that's because, dude, like, Christian Bale was in this movie. He didn't really need to be. The dude from Unhinged, the bad guy in Unhinged, he was in this movie. He didn't really need to be.
It's way too much money for this movie.
He would have.
For what they did with this movie, that is way too much money.
I expected you to say the actor's name when I did that. Because most people don't know who the fuck I'm talking about when I say the bad guy from Unhinged was in there.
Oh, my God.
And they didn't need to have him be in there.
Fight around the world.
Yeah. Russell Crowe was in this movie. He played Zeus. And, like, that, I think we start there.
You want to start? Okay.
I think we start with just, for me, like, that's where a lot of my anger for this movie stems from. The fact that, like, Russell Crowe, he played Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus. So Christian Bale plays Gore the God Butcherer. Mm-hmm. His daughter died. He found the god, like, right after she died, he finds the god that he worshipped his whole life. And he's like, all of your followers are dead. My daughter's dead, but we never lost faith in you. And now I see why, because I've arrived at the promised paradise. And the guy was like, this isn't the fucking paradise. I don't give a shit about you.
I actually love that opening scene.
That was great.
Yeah.
And it gives a very good backstory for Christian Bale. I want to just use that to get into Russell Crowe.
Okay, and then after I want to
go
back to it.
So Christian Bale's going and he's killing gods throughout the whole movie. Like, that's he gets the sword right there. It's a whole thing. And that's what the movie's all about. He is going one by one. He's killing all of the gods. And Thor goes to Zeus, and he's like, Zeus, we need your help. These guys, he's Christian Bale. He's killing all the gods. And Zeus was like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm safe here. He's not going to get to me here. He can't get here. And you can't leave now because you know where this is, and he might get it from you. That should be a serious scene. That should be a serious, like, oh, this fucking all-powerful super god who's in charge of everything He's like, I don't care about anyone else, and you can't leave because the butcher will find out where I am. So you're stuck here. That should have been a serious climactic point in the movie. Instead, he's like he's doing you cannot leave because I'm Greek, because there's a fucking Greek god. They're like, we'll make him the dad from Big Fat Greek Wedding. And he's dancing around and stuff, and he's like, the orgy! Who's gonna be at the orgy? You cannot go to the orgy anymore. Like they tried way too hard. And it was my fear because Ragnarok did it kind of. Ragnarok had plenty of serious. It was they're on Asgard, Asgard's gonna die. Like, there was plenty. Ragnarok's a fine movie. My issue with Ragnarok was when they tried too hard to be funny. And this movie just dialed that up to 20.
Yep.
This movie was an hour and 20 minutes of let's force a bunch of bad jokes and not funny scenes down people's throat. And then like a half hour of, this is serious.
And even when it was serious, it doesn't feel serious. Why? Because they spend that time taking away from the seriousness, building that realism or anything, by trying to force these jokes. And then if you build that overall feel with the jokes, and that is the pacing and the feel of the movie, you can't now all of a sudden switch that on a beat or try to and make it serious. And then when you do, it still wasn't serious enough. So it felt like a lot of the movie contradicted itself. And
dude, so like when Natalie Portman, who, if you guys have seen the Thor movie, she's Thor's love interest and she's a human.
Yeah.
And she has stage 4 cancer. We don't know what kind of cancer. We know it's stage 4. And she's not telling Thor. And she has the power of the hammer, and it's keeping her healthy. But when she drops the hammer, her human body that was using shit to fight the chemo, doing all that, stops working because she was a god for 2 days. And like when she tells him that she has cancer, that scene should be serious. That scene should be, oh man, the woman I love is dying. But they're cutting back to fucking Rockface doing singing and talking about.
Yeah.
They've really, really forced down our throats that rock people are gay.
Not only rock person either. Just like any gay relationship in the movie had to be addressed multiple times.
Yeah, like to the point you're like, yeah, we get it. Like he kept we rock people. He's like, my dad and my other dad, because they were both men, and they held hands over a fire, and it forged me. And I had 2 dads because, remember, like, they're both men. They're gay. I have gay rock people. I have 2 dads, both men.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit exaggerating.
No, yeah.
But not a ton. Like, this is all one scene. And then at the end, he's like, and now I'm gay. Because all rock people are gay. And I met a guy named, was it Daryl? Was it Daryl? I think it was Daryl. I think it was Daryl. I met a guy named Daryl. And it's just, and the guy next to you went, well, a guy, why not a girl?
Yeah.
It was so great.
Come on.
He didn't get what they were doing. He's like, guys, should be girl.
He's a big rock guy.
He's a guy. A guy can't be with another guy.
And he's crazy.
He's a rock. Yeah. But it's just like any serious parts in the movie, they've ripped away from it with comedy, and Thor's always kind of done that.
Yeah.
Like, all of the Thor movies have had funny parts. All of the Marvel movies have had funny parts.
This is a big problem I have with a lot of the Thor movies, even though I think the other ones are better than this one. Like, in the beginning, I was like, okay, it's fun, it's moving at a good pace, and some of the things are, like, a little funny, and they're keeping it, pretty quick and cut. But now, so they're always personal movies. It's not like, yeah, there's other things that might be addressed in the universe of Marvel and this and that, but it's always being summed back up just to, like, Thor's personal life. So I always feel like it's not as serious as it should be, even though these things that are happening within the story are serious, but you don't get that sense as much from it, especially with these last 2 Thor movies, where it's just they're making it too comedic, or they're trying to. And I feel like there's no weight to it. So once we get done with a Thor movie, there's nothing that I feel like going into the rest of the Marvel universe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I kind of disagree, because they created...
The one thing they created that I don't think they touched
Zeus
on
and
enough.
The Greek gods now exist, and the end credit... We'll just jump to the end credit scenes. This is a review. This isn't a scene-by-scene thing.
Yeah.
End credit, Zeus, which I was pumped. I was like, okay, because he was the dad from Big Fat Greek Wedding, just dancing and being funny. Then at the end, he's like, why are gods the jokes, but superheroes are taken seriously? He's like, we need to change this. Odin's son, which is Thor, will fall from the sky. And he's like, Hercules, do you understand what I'm saying? And he's like, I understand what you're saying, Dad. So, like, we're going to have a Hercules trying to fuck up Thor situation coming on my hands, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
I'm all for moving forward. And turns out, we saw this movie with my uncle, John Devaney. Guys, if you're ever in the market for, you need a public relations firm, Devaney Communications.
Oh, wow.
They're your source. Who he grew up with the comics, and apparently, so Hercules. Well, I've never read the comics. Braden doesn't know how to read. I never read the comics, but Hercules was an Avenger in the beginning, which awesome. So I feel like they're laying the grounds because they saw how much fucking money the Avengers did. Oh, yeah. And they want to start doing the groundwork, and they're going to have a new team of Avengers. There will be new Avengers movies. Fucking Thanos' brother, Branos, will try to get the Infinity Stones, and it'll be awesome. And everyone will go see it because they're fucking Marvel.
Yeah. I think that would be great to have, like, the gods versus superheroes, like how they're teasing. I just kind of wish that they would have brought that into that scene. The fact that Zeus felt that way, and the only thing he wanted to talk about to Thor was the orgy.
Was the orgy and all that stuff, yeah.
There's so many things in this film where it just felt forced.
Use the film. I'm all for us not seeing Hercules until the end credits.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
I'm all for that,
but
too.
Like, make Zeus. Like, he's Zeus. People know that name. He's the top god in Greek mythology.
And
like,
he
make him more serious.
And
make
strong.
him more powerful.
Yeah. You have the most powerful god, essentially, in the universe get beat by his own lightning bolt.
He throws his lightning bolt at Thor. Thor catches it. Believable.
Yeah.
At this point, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? He's Thor. He's a fucking god.
Yeah.
He can catch lightning bolts. I don't care. He then throws it back at Zeus, and it just goes through Zeus's chest.
And he just falls off his platform and just like, you're like, oh, he's dead.
You're like,
dead.
oh, that was Zeus.
And
that
it
was
clearly
Zeus,
went
everybody.
through him. Yeah. But no, we find out in the credits scene
that he didn't die,
yeah.
but he fucking... Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, like, Heimdall, Idris Elba's character.
Yep.
His son... Heimdall died in Ragnarok, and his son is now... Or no, he died in Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah, Thanos killed him. His son is now... He has Heimdall's powers. Awesome. Christian Bale, like, kidnaps a bunch of kids from Asgard, the Asgardian kids, because he knows Thor's going to come get them, because he needs the Bifrost to get to... What was it called? The Eternal?
Yeah. Or Eternity.
Get to Eternity, which turns out real thing in the comics, but not a real... If you get to Eternity and you unlock it, use the key to unlock, which Bifrost is the key, you get to ask Eternity for one thing. And, like, turns out that they made that up.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Give him a reason for going to Eternity. I don't care. But Heimdall's son's name was Alfred or Alden, whatever his name was. And Thor referred to him as Alden, and he said, I'm not Alden anymore, I'm Axel. And he's like, what? No, your father named you. It's a strong Viking name, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, I'm Axel. He's a famous rock star that I'm a big fan of. This whole movie the soundtrack was Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Why? Why? They're like just little weird, like, they're like, oh, this will be really funny, we'll throw that in there. Like Heimdall was a badass, serious character.
Yeah, and his
through
son
all the
is
Thor
not.
movies, and his son now has his powers, and like introducing that to us, it's him like being a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, exactly, and that's the overall feel of the joke. Like, nothing serious, everything's a joke, so nothing really carries weight. But yeah, it was. I liked some of the quick little joke things. I felt like it made their scenes kind of go by quick, or make it seem faster. But that one in particular, yeah, I just felt like it was forced.
But like, here's the thing: like, the Avengers is funny.
Yeah.
There's funny parts in it. Like, this isn't, if they were going for it to be a comedy, like a laugh out loud comedy, like they missed the mark severely.
I remember laughing.
But there were, like, all of it, they were trying to have jokes in it.
Yeah. There was a couple, like, especially in the beginning when you had Groot and he reacted to someone. He was like, I am
the
Groot.
one dude, he's always getting married and all that stuff. Yeah, there's funny. You're allowed to have funny parts.
No, yeah.
But just driving, like, it's a.
But for that
it's
to
a
be the main focus.
It's a Thor comic book action movie, like Iron Man. Dude, Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. Tony
great,
Stark is
little,
very funny,
yeah.
just like his quick little one-liners.
But the overall feel of
is
the movie
serious. The Earth is gonna die unless fucking Tony Stark fucks some shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and another thing is
this
they
was
painted,
like, oh, they're just really trying to be funny here.
Yeah. And another big feel of the movie is it's not about Thor's strength. It's about like Thor's emotion and mentality and kind of like spirituality. But it's like the same for the villain as well. And that's like the overall thing. And I'm like, and I thought this in the very beginning, when, is it Igor or Gore?
Gore.
Gore.
Gore the God Butcher.
There it is. Yeah, in the beginning when...
Igor.
I know, right?
They give him the name Igor.
I know. What was I thinking?
No one would fear him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Igor's coming.
Right?
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
on.
So in the very beginning, let me take this out. It's fucking killing me.
But now you can't hear me.
I know, but it's like a little echoey. So in the beginning, when Christian Bale gets like his powers and everything, or like his
there's a sword. I'm spacing on the name, but it is, the sword has like, it's poisoned him. He's under a spell, for lack of a better word. And the sword wants him to kill the god because that's what the fucking sword does. And
yeah.
Also, he has reasons to dislike the gods.
Yeah.
Because they didn't help him
but
or
he,
people.
But he praised one in particular god.
And killed him immediately.
And killed him, which is great. And the god deserved it and everything. But now for you to be like all or nothing, which it does make sense psychologically as you get one side of extreme to fight the other side of it, and it causes another extreme. Like that happens all the time when someone doesn't have one. It's, something taken away in an extreme manner. They'll act in the complete opposite manner, essentially. So it kind of makes sense that he wants to go after all gods. But why would you think, if you're acting on the manner of like trying to kill evil gods, why would you immediately inherently think that all gods are now evil?
So it's the sword telling him this.
Okay.
It's,
That's
like,
a good point.
Yeah, like they make like he's being poisoned by the sword.
Yeah.
Which we find the fucking name. Does it say it anywhere?
Let me just click on.
I mean, you're clicking on Christian Bale.
But I was trying to click on the
You're gonna find a lot of other stuff with Christian Bale.
sword.
Yeah. The necro sword, which is necrophilia, is having sex with dead bodies.
There you go.
So that's what they're doing with that sword.
And he looked like
And-
someone who would have sex
my God,
with dead bodies.
Did he ever?
Shit was
Yeah,
scary.
so like that, I can get on board with, like, because it's a fucking Marvel movie. Like
Yeah.
I can get on board. Like, Loki could touch your fucking chest with his thing, and
But
you
what
did
I'm-
whatever Loki wanted you to do. Like, I can get on board with that.
But what I was getting to is like once, like the moment that happened, I said to myself, I'm like, oh man, I feel like I already know the ending. And what I thought,
Did you guess eternity?
no. What I'm guessing though is, oh, this is just going to be a play on emotions. We're going to get to the finale. Thor's going to lose, and we're going to figure out that Gore has just a change of heart because all this is just about love and emotion and heart. And I'm like, well, fuck, bro. I don't want to watch 2 hours of like this, roller coaster just for things to be so easily turned around or explained or changed. Like, oh, love is the answer? Why didn't you say so? I wouldn't have done everything I did if that's the answer. It's love?
But here's the thing: he didn't even just say that.
No, yeah.
He said, "God, this really upset me."
This upset me. I'm like,
at the end, Natalie Portman they're at eternity. Christian Bale has won. He is there to win.
Yeah, won.
He's checkmate.
yes.
But the sword is destroyed, so he's turning back into just Christian Bale. He's not this poisoned thing, but he's still like, no, fuck you guys. And Thor just turns his back and walks over to Natalie Portman, who's on the ground. Natalie Portman, there was a whole thing. So she went to the hospital because the hammer got separated from her, and we saw how sick she was.
Yeah.
They used Bifrost to get back to Asgard.
Yeah.
And they couldn't handle it. And she's in the hospital, and the doctor's like, we don't know what it is, but like something is just not letting her body fight this. And Thor was like, every time you become Thor, because she's using Thor. I hate it. Oh my God, we're stopping dead in our tracks. I fucking hated how much it was like the fucking love triangle, the fucking love square.
Oh my God,
between Thor, Natalie Portman, his hammer, and the fucking axe that he made in Infinity War. And like every time he was near the hammer, the axe would just kind of come up like a jealous girlfriend and look at him. Like it was so fucking. And the dude next to was loving. He's like, it's jealous.
I
the
thought
axe is jealous.
I thought one or two of it was like a little funny, but it just drawn out. Where I'm like, what was going on?
You do that once in the movie.
Yeah.
You do it once, and I'm like, it's kind of funny. Yeah. Whatever. 6 times they did it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What the
Isn't there a story we're supposed to be like on right now? Like, is it something else we're supposed to be like focusing on? Because it just felt like the entire movie, it's like we're moving through scenes, we're going to different places, but there's not that much of a central focus point for us viewers to be like, to carry weight through this movie with. There was like none of that was really pulling us along. It was just funny little comical things here and there that weren't even that funny or comical, and it's just like, just Thor being there wasn't that much that really pulled us through from scene to scene. We were just kind of going through it, is the way I felt.
Yeah, just floating along.
Yeah.
Just floating along. Oh, this is funny.
Yeah.
So then Natalie Portman, she's in the hospital, and Thor, he's like, you just stay in the hospital and do chemo. And she's like, why? She's like, if I'm going to die, I want to die like feeling well and being a fucking Viking god. Are you kidding me? Like, she's like, what are we even talking about? He's like, because I love you. And if there's a chance you can get better, I want you to get better. She's not going to get better. And not gonna get better. She went into this with stage 4 cancer. The stage 4 cancer has gotten significantly worse. Let her come be Viking god with you. But he's like, no, you stay in the hospital bed. And she's like, all right, I'll stay in the hospital bed.
So I also don't understand this, because she was like reading, she saw the quick one sentence that they just wanted to show us that like, oh, it heals you or makes you healthy. Whatever that quick line was about Thor's hammer. If that's the case, and she's getting sick like in her normal state as this time is going on, but she's completely healthy and fine while she is Thor. Why doesn't she just stay Thor?
Well, like situations like going through the Bifrost, she dropped it, or or at the end there,
but just like never,
where
that just never.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't
just never not be Thor.
You can't prevent those 2 things that happened. Like she dies because the hammer gets fucking
and
it's all fucked up, and she comes in and saves the day. She breaks. Thor's getting fucked up by Christian Bale, and the hammer in the hospital room is like, and she's like jumping in bed, and the hammer's like, we gotta go. And she's like, all right. She grabs it, and then she goes, we're getting through this.
I want to talk about the scene though right before this.
Right before in the hammer in the bed.
No, where the 3 go and fight Gore.
Okay, we'll get there in a second. Because I'm all it's before. Let's go.
Okay.
Talk quicker before I get into scenes.
So right before the ending final battle, this is after they went to Zeus and they got Zeus's lightning bolt.
And let me just jump in. This is an hour and 10 minutes into the movie, and really nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened.
Just a lot of fun jokes and we learned Christian Bale and all that stuff and the Zeus thing.
And
none of it felt super important.
Exactly.
To this point. When this scene started, I was like, all right, let's fucking see.
All right, so we had the bad guy. You built your small team, and now they go to fight Gore in the Dark Realm, and I fucking hated. So this is the ending of Act 2, before they started Act 3. And up until this point, I'm like, okay, the movie's kind of moving along somewhat. Like I don't feel the weight.
Braden has such a poor sense of humor. Braden was laughing through a lot of the movie.
I thought
yeah. She slapped him.
Maybe I was just a little bugged or
something. She
slapped
him. She shouldn't have slapped him.
Well, and I thought I laughed too because they're so stupid. Like it's so dumb. Like a lot of the things that they did was like just so stupid.
You loved it. Don't shit on yourself, man.
Yeah, all right. Fuck. Now what was I even saying?
They go to see Gore. They're in the Dark Realm.
Yeah, so they're going to see Gore and they're going to fight him. Now it's 2 Thors and
the Valkyrie. From
Valkyrie,
Ragnarok and...
but with Zeus's bolt. And they get handled, dude, within 10 seconds. They show up there and they just get swamped.
You know why? Because Christian Bale bout his business.
About his business. But this is where I get pissed off because he's about his business until fucking Thor's like, wait, I do need my hammer. And boom, everything goes fucking crazy on this small little moon. But then they get away.
So Christian Bale, he has them like bound with shadow shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, call the hammer. So
he's trying to get the
axe,
hammer so
the
they can
axe.
open a portal to eternity.
Because so Natalie Portman realized like he has all this shit out, and she realized Bifrost is what's going to be the key for him to get into eternity. So she just throws the axe off the planet.
Yeah.
She's like, it's a trap. He wanted the axe. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, thanks for throwing it. And
But-
then Christian Bale's like, call the fucking axe.
But
Call the fucking axe over here.
Yeah. But this is my problem. We don't, we've seen Thor be he's not the god once again like in Ragnarok. He's not the god of axes. He's the god of lightning. We don't thunder.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. But
Zeus is the god of lightning.
yeah. But in Ragnarok, he obviously uses that lightning without the axe. We don't see that. You would think like, okay, he doesn't have his axe. He's being like fucking held back by these like random ghost monster things, and he can't get away until he gets the axe. But I'm like, okay, well, that's a degrade to the last movie as to like his growth as a character. But okay, whatever. So we don't see him get stronger after he also goes through a fucking dope montage, some fucking Rocky montage of him just getting yoked, which also I got to say, we got to comment. He is yoked.
Oh my God!
Steroids times 10.
Zeus makes him naked in the big god hall, and all the girls faint when they see it because he's so good looking. Dude,
He honestly
Chris
could go.
Hemsworth's body is bananas.
Yeah, and that's him. Like that man could go and compete in
It might be
bodybuilding
CGI.
on one of the highest stages. I'm almost
It might be
positive.
CGI.
CGI. What's that?
It's computer generated intelligence. I don't know, instruments.
Huh.
There was I'm spacing on the guy's name. My brother sent me it during the Marlins game the other night. We're going way off track here, guys. Fuck. It's a former player who didn't play long, played like one season with the Marlins. And they were talking in the year 1987, let's say.
What a year.
Got brought up. And he goes, you know what else happened that year? To Paul Severino, who's the like voice of the Marlins. And he goes, were you born? He's like, that's right. I was born 2 weeks late with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. And like Severino had nothing to say to that. It's just quiet. And then the next pitch is thrown. Which is fucking crazy.
It's just a long
Severino's
pause.
like I'm sure he's like, the fuck do you want me to do with that, man?
Yeah.
Then it was great.
Set me up to
Nelson
fail.
Cruz. He's like, a Nelson Cruz born 38 years ago on this day. And then Severino paused for a second and went, no issues that I'm aware of. like something like that. But he also, it was around 4th of July, and he was asking about drones and stuff, and, there were fireworks on the screen, and the guy's like, I want to know about the fireworks on the screen, all that. They get permits for that? I don't know, if he thought they were real fireworks. And Severino goes, I think it's, CGI and stuff. And he goes, but CGI? What's that?
No,
he goes, it stands for, computer-generated, and then said whatever the I was. And the guy's like, I don't do a lot of computers and stuff. It was the most banana. Guys, it's a baseball game.
I would really hope and love that they use that as some type of example when you're going through being training.
Don't.
So what do you do in this scenario, Jim? Now that you're coming up to be a sports announcer,
I don't ask what CGI is. I don't get into details about any difficulties that were had during my birth.
Fucking right.
I give my guys something to work off of. I don't just say uncomfortable things about how I was born and then be like, now you say
So
something.
you don't talk about umbilical cords?
Yeah.
Good.
I almost died at birth. Now you talk. Good fucking bananas.
Yeah, how about this baseball game, right?
Yeah. All right, back was Chris Hemsworth. I think it could have been CGI. It was the most magnificent body I've ever seen in my life.
No, yeah.
Like, I'm going to have dreams about how nice his body was.
Now, I'm sure it's him.
It was
I'm almost
amazing.
positive.
It was
him.
amazing.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah,
Mr.
good for
Hemsworth.
you, Chris Hemsworth. And
Good
let
on
us
you.
know, because I'm sure that's just not normal steroids. I'm sure Hollywood's got you on some, you know what I'm saying?
No idea what you're saying.
Some,
Come on. Well, do you want to just do? You're doing I'm Paul Severino in this scenario. You're not giving me anything to work off of.
some baby blood.
No, that's not real.
Oh. Well, if there is some secret, just let us little people know.
Yeah.
But no, it was. So they build up. They go to gore. They fucking
But
fail miserably.
Here's the thing, because you brought up the montage to me also separately.
Oh, did I not finish the montage?
It was just to show he's skinny now. He's not fat.
Yeah.
We all remembered Fat Thor from Endgame that Nick Hoffman really liked, and Braden tried to make Nick feel like a pile. Nick doesn't do the podcast with us, any of that. He was like, oh, I really like Fat Thor. He's like, oh, did you like Fat Thor? Yeah, no, that's really good for you. But, like, the reason Fat Thor wasn't bad is because, Nick, look at me, bud. Look at me while I explain this to you. It made no sense for Thor to have gotten fat like that with his character development, all that stuff.
No,
And-
it did make sense. I just didn't
and he's just like, why are you talking to me like this? Like,
It did.
like,
It did
shut
make
the
sense.
fuck up.
I just didn't want it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see yoked Thor fight Thanos.
And that's the montage was to show, all right, now he's skinny.
Yeah.
He didn't say he got stronger at all. He was
Yeah.
just like, now he's skinny.
But so yeah, and I wasn't trying to say like he's supposed to be stronger, but it's just from Thor Ragnarok plus that montage. You would think that they would maybe incorporate something into like strength, going up or something, but it doesn't. It's just the emotional.
It's all
and the
emotional
heart.
strength.
It's the love,
he's growing
baby.
as a person.
Yeah.
You know,
And they
Mr.
touch
Oh, man, I lift weights and I do big things. Like, yeah, it's about emotional intelligence.
So in the opening with the Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt, once after they have this pretty cool fight scene, even though it was a bit corny, but I liked the song that they were
What a
playing.
summer for Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah.
Dude, good on him.
Yeah.
Go on,
No,
sorry.
Chris Pratt's killing it right now. Terminalist is actually decent as
I
well.
don't care about Terminalist.
Okay.
He did
Jurassic
Jurassic World
World.
and this.
Yeah.
It's two humongous movies.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, that was a cool, fun scene, and they kind of set up what the movie's going to be about with Chris Pratt being like, I've been lost before, and it's all, But my thing is, I just feel like we've been down this road with Thor, like finding himself. Like, I mean, dude, even in the Avengers movie when he got mind controlled by Wanda, he went down these same rabbit holes of finding himself. Like through trauma, through these things. And I feel like
Thor's always evolving as a person, man.
I get it.
He's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone he loves is dead. His parents are dead. His brother dies.
so they brought
His
this up.
brother dies all the time. That was great. In the beginning,
fucking
he was
times.
like his mom died, and then his dad, and then his brother, and then his brother again, and then his brother one more time.
Yeah,
Like, it was fun.
yeah.
That was one I was like, yeah, it is ridiculous what this guy's been through. Now Natalie Portman's got stage 4 cancer.
So to finish, So to finish up, kind of like what I'm really fucking pissed off about with this movie is that they go from some of the 3 strongest superheroes and gods, to being defeated by Gore pretty easily with his like dark minions or whatever. And then we go to the final battle where the kids are being held captured, and he frees the kids and he gives them. We don't know. I think it's Zeus's power.
No. Brayden, you're fucking crazy. He says through
but
through I, Thor, Odin's son, give you all the power of Thor, and gives them the power of Thor.
yeah, but then Zeus's bolt lights up, and all the kids are glowing yellow instead of blue.
But whatever, he says, I give you the power of Thor.
Which is now a thing that wasn't introduced to us.
So Odin gave Thor his power.
But that wasn't
Odin's-
really talked
Odin is
about.
dead.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it's feasible.
Yeah,
That Thor would have, like...
you're just supposed to know is my
sure.
point.
So here's the thing. Yeah, they could have done 26 less jokes.
And spend more time explaining some of this.
explain
Yeah.
some shit like that. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I'd have been all for that. But they didn't. And then, so, like, if this movie was 2.5 hours long instead of 2 hours long, because they wanted to explain stuff like that, I would have hated it so much more.
For sure. But this is my biggest problem now, is okay, these kids have powers, but they grab like rocks and teddy bears and
The
shit.
power of Thor, not powers. You keep saying they have some, I don't know. So just blank any powers. I don't know.
I don't give a
he
shit.
He says
I don't
gave you
give a
the
shit.
power of Thor. Well, call it what it is,
Okay,
man.
the power of Thor to a 3-year-old.
Call it
still
what
isn't
it
doing
is.
Shit, bro. This 3-year-old doesn't know.
That 3-year-old is the god of thunder now.
But they're tripping over rocks. They're not coordinated.
Thor
They're
is
not,
the
like,
god of
hitting
thunder.
Splits, kicks in the air and shit.
Because they have, dude.
I love how you're dying though.
You've seen all these Thor movies. They have the power of Thor. I love how you're like, that doesn't mean they're 3. Yeah, they're 3 with the power of Thor.
I fucking hate it. Oh, no. So, okay, David, to counteract what you're talking about, these these same kids that you're talking about have the power of Thor. The power of Thor. Thor just got manhandled like it was nobody's business.
Yeah,
by
but
these
there wasn't
Darkmans.
40 of them. There were so many kids. There were so many kids with the power of Thor.
I don't care.
I think it's ridiculous. Yes,
I don't. But, all right.
but it is that many people who now have the power that Thor has. There was fucking 40 of them. There, guys. It was all the kids of Asgard. There's so many kids.
Hey, they're not just Asgard kids.
Yeah, they're from other places. Like, I'm not from Asgard. I'm from this place. He's like, great, just come over here. I give you the power of Thor.
So beyond that, if let's just say personal to me, I don't want to see in the final fight a bunch of toddlers beating up what essentially just bodied 2 Thors and Valkyrie. Or is that her name? What the fuck's her name?
So here's the thing, because I let it go the first time, but now you're bringing it back. Some of them are very young.
Yeah. Not all of them are that young.
Heimal's son's like 12,
Yeah.
13. Like there's teenagers there as well.
But my point
it's
is,
not all 3-year-olds.
It seems like they're forcing that situation to happen to tailor it more to kids when I don't
Disney
give a
owns
fuck
the
about
fucking
that.
franchise now.
But you're defending it. You're talking like you're defending
So,
it.
but because I'm defending because you're not saying the power of Thor.
Now,
I'm defending the power of Thor.
Yeah. But
I'm
now
not,
I'm just saying.
defending that being part of the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like that it was part of the movie either.
Okay.
But I believe that if you gave 40 kids, the power of Thor,
Okay.
there's about nothing they can't do. All right, they can do just about anything with that.
So I'll challenge you one more time.
Yeah, I don't like that was the ending of the movie though.
If Thor knew he could do that then the entire time,
Why isn't he just giving everyone the power? Yeah, I agree.
and take all the the villagers,
I
all
agree.
the
Just
adults,
be like, everyone, here you go, power
all,
of Thor.
hey, all you parents, you want to go save your kids? Here you go.
Here you go, power of Thor. Let's go.
I need an army. That was the whole thing too. I need to build an army.
Yeah.
And he knew he could do this shit. Instead, he went to Zeus, killed Zeus, and said, all right, well, there's no way I could find anyone else to give the power of Thor to. In the entire universe, us 3 will just go.
How do they already have that information?
I don't know.
They have the opening weekend in U.S. and Canada.
Up till today.
Up till today, which is $143 million. What was the budget? Budget was $250.
$250. So
I mean, part of me hopes that that people see this and they're like, I'm not going to go see Thor now.
I hope so too, because what it shows is, hey, investors, fuck you. People who are controlling the majority of creativity these days, fuck you. You just want to try and tailor it so you can make as much money as possible, which is why it's making movies like Thor, Love and Thunder for the 30th Marvel movie. You're making it shitty for people like me who grew up with Marvel.
And Brock Lesnar shouldn't have broken the Undertaker's streak.
Yeah!
Should have been a real wrestler.
Fucking
investors just controlling the narrative.
pissing me
That's all
off.
you do. You push your agenda. Fucking bullshit.
You know, one day it's going to come back to pay you.
It's very disappointing because like Endgame was amazing.
Dude, Infinity War was amazing.
Guys, like the Marvel universe building up to this, like the Thor movies, the Iron Man movies, the Captain America movies, they were all fucking good.
Yep.
Building, and then Endgame was an epic conclusion to all of that. And then they were like, let's have Thor let's try to make him really funny. And Natalie Portman has cancer, which was a thing, and all of that was real in the comics. So, like, whatever. Tie into all of that. Great. Make that part of it. Explain it more. Go into more detail as to why the hammer. Because Braden's right. She just, she opened a book
took 2 minutes
on theology and was on mythology and was like, oh, the hammer will make me better. I'm gonna go get the hammer, and then was able to get the hammer.
Yeah.
Like explain so much more than you do.
Yeah, and like the hammer chose her, and we find out that he kind of told the
hammer, yeah,
to protect her.
They did a little montage of Thor and Natalie Portman like living together. That was the one part I laughed at. They were walking into the fucking god temple thing, and he asked her. They show them rollerblading together, and he's like holding the hammer out, and she's holding on to him, and they're walking. And it's awkward 'cause they haven't seen each other in years. And he goes, "So you still rollerblade?" And she's like, no time. You? He's like, "Oh yeah. Once you blade, you can't stop the wave," or something like that. And he's like, "Right, rock guy?" He's like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
like I love just the idea that Thor never stopped rollerblading.
Yeah.
Like
every weekend.
He's still rollerblading. No, did he say every weekend? He said like all
every
the time,
weekend,
every
yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
So
like,
he's making time out of his schedule.
That is the point of the movie where I genuinely laughed.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing.
He's going from like fighting off humongous monsters to being like, I really need to go roller skate real quick.
Yeah.
If I don't do that,
love it.
I'm gonna be lost in this universe.
Love it.
Yeah.
But it's just they missed the mark, and for this to be the first time we see Thor after Endgame.
Yeah. Also, the fight, all the fighting scenes were pretty lackluster.
They were fine
and corny.
Yeah.
They were just corny. Like none of the fight scenes were like, oh, this is like realistic even in this world, in this universe. So it was like, no, it's like literally Thor hit a split and he held 2 huge like fucking monster truck things in a split, and he was like laughing about it. Like the whole thing, like there was nothing that ever carried weight even in the fight scenes. I felt like even in the ending where I don't know, it's just like, oh, you just have to use.
You were gonna talk about the kids.
No, actually this time
you were like even in the ending then you stopped.
Well,
we talked a lot about the kids. The power of Thor, Braden. It's fucking Thor, Odin's son.
No, in the end though, they're like
the god of thunder.
Right. What was I thinking?
They can fucking do anything. There was 40 of them.
But what pissed me off is
imagine if 40 Thor kids just fucking walked in here. We'd be done.
Yeah. Definitely done. There's no way. There's nothing I'm doing.
There's no scenario.
But so many like lazy writing scenarios, like, oh, all you got to use is just use the hammer to destroy his sword, and that takes away his powers. Duh. Why didn't we think about that until now? That's all you got to do, David.
That is one thing they said that at the very end. Valkyrie is like, you got to destroy the sword. That's power. She gets injured in battle. She loses a kidney. That's what happens in the battle.
She gets stabbed.
Yeah, and then she's like walking around the fucking hospital.
God, dude.
Talking to him. And she's like, destroy that sword because that's where all his power is. And that was the first time we were like, oh, that's how you kill him?
That's all you do?
Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But why hasn't that been like Thanos the whole time? It was don't let him fucking close his fist. Don't let him put the Infinity Gauntlet on. Like we knew how Thanos would get his power and how they needed to try to stop him.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking this. It's just at the end. They're like, oh, by the way, that sword, if you break it, he dies.
Also, now that I think about it, what was the point of Zeus's lightning bolt? I thought that was supposed to bring light into the dark realm, but like I felt like it didn't do anything.
Dark realm's too dark, though.
But you get what I'm saying, though? They went to Zeus. They went through killing Zeus just to get the Zeus bolt, just for it to kind of be used just like a sword kind of thing. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like, I'm going to put this in the ground and now the dark realm is all light and you're like, now you're in my fucking world or some shit. No, did nothing. It's just like, here's a lightning bolt and I'm zoom, zoom, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm going to sword fight you with the lightning bolt.
That's not practical.
Bet you never sword fought a lightning bolt before, huh?
Yeah.
Poo, 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 poo.
Totally not more practical than an actual sword.
Yeah.
Your sword's 6 feet. Mine's like 2 feet. It's like a fucking knife rather than like a sword.
Yeah. And end credits said Thor will return.
Duh.
So there's that.
I wonder if it'll be serious this time.
And it didn't say what he. So it normally would say Thor will return in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Thor will return in Avengers: Infinity. Well, like they normally say what the next thing we're gonna see Thor in. I assume that means we're just getting Thor movies.
Now, did you like or dislike seeing Natalie Portman go to Valhalla?
So I didn't dislike it because I mean, that's fine for an end credit scene, like whatever, because they did the Hercules one.
So I feel like indifferent to it because I feel like they kind of set it up where it's like these people exist almost in like a way, like it's almost kind of like other fucking shows I've seen where they create a heaven where people like actually exist in, and then they find a way to bring these people like back to life. Not like a snap like Thanos, like these people were in heaven, their bodies are it's just like gone.
We talking zombies or?
Well, I just feel like they're setting it up to where these people can almost be brought back or communicated with from Valhalla in a sense by showing their legitimate bodies in like a heaven set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I won't be pumped if there's like
and that's why
like
I'm like, I feel
Natalie
indifferent.
Portman. I'm all for like Thor.
You could show it. Yeah.
And like Thor can interact with her like he did with Odin.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
when
me
he
too, yeah.
Odin's like, you're not the god of hammers,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
the god of thunder.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
I'm fucking god of thunder. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'll be very upset if Natalie Portman is in another Thor movie and like
Because he was just able to bring
has
her
a
back.
hammer and was
Yeah.
is fucking people up with it. I won't like that.
Because then it takes away any weight.
Takes away like why do I care that she died?
Yeah.
Why do I care that she had cancer? All of that
Yeah.
just is gone for me, and I'm like, oh, it's the movie that was like the one redeeming thing of the movie was their relationship.
Yeah.
In the midst of all that bullshit comedy that wasn't very funny, and then she just is back. Like I would hate that.
So similar premise to Gore's daughter. I feel indifferent about her character because we don't know much about her, but this whole movie has essentially been about her in an essence. And now she's alive and Thor is taking care of her.
So you cut me off when I was gonna say this because you wanted to yell about how the kids were able to win in the end.
Oh, my bad.
So when he's at Eternity and he's sitting there and he's waiting and he's like, it's fucking time, Thor. And he's like, whatever, you win, Gore. And then he turns away. He's like, don't you turn your fucking back on me. And he's like, look, you win. All right, make your wish. But I'm not gonna spend my last moments arguing with you. I'm gonna go be with the woman I love. Like, and
I
Natalie
choose
Portman's
love.
dying there. He says, I choose love. You can too. He could have stopped there.
But did it.
He said, I choose love. You can too. You can bring her back.
And it's like, dude, if you know that, why haven't you said that to him yet?
And then went over. But here's the thing. As a viewer in the movie, and just designing a movie,
yeah.
don't have him say, you can bring her back.
Yeah.
Say, I choose love. You can too.
Watch him go through contemplation, and then we find out that he sacrificed himself for her to bring her back. Like, that's how it should go.
Like, that is like, because like, that he then uses his wish to bring his daughter back.
Yeah.
And he dies because whatever.
I mean, that makes no sense.
You die when you stop using the sword.
They make it seem as if he was terminally ill before he got these powers.
But if the sword breaks, you get one wish and then you die. Everybody knows that.
See, that was not addressed.
That's the rule of swords. If the sword breaks, you get one wish, but then you're dead.
Yeah, and like, what's the opposite of eternity? Death. Right?
I mean, no. Because you're dead forever. You're dead for an eternity.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
so I think no time is the opposite of eternity. Just no time. Timeless. I don't know. Eternity might not have an opposite. You're fucking really setting Paul Severino up here to have nothing to say to you.
My mind is blown.
But and Christian Bale dies, Natalie Portman dies, and Thor takes care of the kid.
But this is another problem. Like, we don't know much about the kid, and then all of a sudden,
We don't know much about the kid other than they worshipped that god and
that
she
guy
died.
didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Which I actually love that. I thought it was going to be so much of that. I thought it was going to be so dark and so gritty, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be great.
And it fucking could have been.
Yeah.
That god didn't give a shit. Zeus didn't give a shit. Like, you could have made it a dark, like, these all-powerful beings don't give a fuck.
And that's what it should have been. It should have been like it's a lot of an emotional love storyline, and that's the premise of it. But it could have been so much more like realistic in the sense of carrying weight from scene to scene by showing more gods being bad. Like, you didn't have to just show this like pitiful way of Zeus wanting to be like a fucking horny scumbag kind of guy. Like, you could have showed that he was like an actual evil dude. If you're gonna take it to that. You know, if you're gonna go to the part where you're gonna kill Zeus essentially, or show that Thor is gonna try and kill Zeus, make him a fucking just like over the top asshole where like they're talking about overthrowing the universe or it's like something where it's like it carries more weight. Not him just being like orgy this, orgy that, orgy, where it's like, oh, I don't take this person serious at all. I don't take Zeus serious.
Yeah.
They don't build anything.
And think of that sentence Braden just said. I don't take Zeus serious.
That's how bad they fucked
If
up.
Zeus is in a fucking movie, you should take him serious.
And the entire time,
it's fucking Zeus.
And the entire scene, Thor's like, no, that's Zeus. Like, addressing that, hey, no one's taking Zeus serious. Like, as we're watching the movie, like, hey, no one's taking Zeus serious. Like, no, that's Zeus. We should feel a certain way towards him.
And then he started talking about orgies and
Just shows
stuff,
the
and then
contradiction.
Zeus was like, all right, he might not be that cool. Just like that. And you're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. It felt like they tried too hard, and in the same essence, they took away what they could have built upon. Like, I didn't need to know all the gods. I didn't need to see all the gods. I just needed to know that, hey, now Thor even thinks gods are bad. So he almost sides with Gore, and then when they meet up, it shows that they have common interests and goals, but at the same time, they're different at the same, and it's like they're one but different. Like, they're the same but different, and they react in the opposite ways. But then that helps maybe show Gore that Thor, which is funny because that's a play on names as well, that they're the same but
word
different.
association.
Yeah. I think that's supposed to be what the big part of it is. Like they both go through similar scenarios and they both act on them, but in completely different ways. But they're both like same premise kind of situations that they have to deal with.
Keep going. 'Cause you're doing.
No, thank you.
You were doing a different thing, and then the names.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
you were bringing a lot of passion, and then you noticed the names, and you're like, "Oh, it's cool because like you're going different things."
Well, I'm saying that's another play on. Yeah, it's just another play on how they're supposed to be going through the same exact thing, but they're going to handle it differently. But I just wish they would have showed more to Thor that how Gore feels, that these gods are actually that bad, not just like Zeus playing around, kind of giving some shittery fucking thing. Like, really give it weight to where now Thor's like, oh my god, these gods have been in control of the universe this entire time, and I've just been helping out superheroes when I should be addressing these gods, which is what I am. Like, everyone knows about me because I've been addressing myself within the universe. All these gods have been assholes this entire time. Like, let us, the viewers, understand that Thor understands that, and then when he meets up with Gore, he can relate to Gore even though they're doing the complete opposite, and that might help change Gore's mind, but in a way that seems more realistic, not just like, in the end, once when Gore wins, I choose love. And he's like, you know what? I do too. I've spent 2 hours getting to this point to succeed, but since you said love, I'm gonna listen to you.
Well, no. You play into what they actually did because he didn't just say love. He said, "Bring your daughter back."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that could have been a cliffhanger.
And
like,
that's
oh shit,
that's a huge
it.
other part. Yeah. The entire time, Thor or Gore could have known and said, and figured out what.
Gore had the sword.
But for
the sword was poisoning Gore.
True, yeah. So then Thor could have just said, "Hey, listen, you don't have to make a wish to kill the gods. You could just wish your daughter back." Which, if he said that too, then it would make sense for Gore to be like, "Well, if I wish my daughter back, they'll just kill my daughter again." That would, I feel like, build on the reasons that they do this. But at the end, it just feels like they're forcing things too quickly. Like, if we move through these scenarios, at least we know once we get to this point, it's not as easily said and done. Like, there's more that they have to go through. But for him just to say what he said, like, you could just wish your daughter back, and for him just right there in that point, it's too quick.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
This could have, the bones are there for this to have been a very good movie.
Yes.
And with the actors, and like Russell Crowe played Zeus. He is such a talented fucking actor. For them to have had Zeus just be like an offensive Greek person is insane to me.
Yeah.
That could have been an awesome character.
They had everything besides the script.
Yeah. Like,
just the way it was written, the
it
dialogue.
Felt like they wanted this just to be like a fucking theme park ride.
Yeah.
Instead of a movie.
Exactly.
Like the Avengers were great because, they were awesome. The best fucking action sequences ever. It is so fucking cool. The fights, the big battle scenes in Infinity War and Endgame blow your fucking tits off your chest. But, like, there's backstory, there's character development. I care about multiple different people in the thing. Even, like, Thanos. Thanos, I'm like, it makes sense what he wants to do. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
He's seen all this poverty, all that shit. He's got the daughters. There's the Avengers. Like, there are so many different characters that I give a fuck about in the Avengers. In this, I was like...
Don't give a fuck about any
I
of
was
them.
like, I like Thor. I like Valkyrie. Like, I like these people, but I'm not emotionally invested in this.
And then you possibly give one bit of emotion by having Big Rock Dude die, and then his face survives, like just a portion. Like, it's like, dude, nothing is building anything for me. And,
Yeah.
and when you do stuff like that, you're basically conditioning me to be like, oh, when someone does get seriously hurt, injured, or possibly killed, there's not as much weight to it because you're not conditioning me to believe that these things are big moments.
Yeah.
You're taking away, like, when you do that. And I don't believe it's going to be a big moment when it happens. Like, now Natalie Portman dying, I didn't feel it. I don't know. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, we lost a Thor woman.
No.
I was, like, a little, like, let down because I wanted to see more of her. But at the same time, I'm like, just the way they go about the whole movie just didn't carry the weight that it should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. We didn't give our grades in the beginning.
Yeah. You want to give the grades? Or let's go over first. So, Rotten Tomatoes, give it a 68%. IMDb, give it a 7 out of 10. And Google users give it an 83%. It's pretty low for Google.
Yeah, but it's still high for just...
Yeah.
Like, people gave it a thumbs up. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I give it like a 4.5. Like, I really didn't like this movie. And I don't know... This could absolutely, on my part, be recency bias. Because I just watched all of those movies. This is out of all the Thor movies and the Avenger movies, maybe Marvel movies in general that have come out within the last 15 years. This might be the worst.
Like, I really liked the
I know
beginning.
Braden hated Black Panther, but it had nothing to do with like how the movie was. He was just the idea of Black Panther made him sick to his stomach. So, like, I know Braden disagrees with me on what the worst one was, but I really think it was such a high budget.
$250 million,
They had
bro.
such a good cast.
Like, that's almost the same for,
Dude,
I think, Avengers
dude,
Endgame
that's-
and Infinity War.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Christian Bale, Natalie Portman, Russell Crowe have all won Academy Awards.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know about... You say Chris Hemsworth?
No.
Oh. Who'd you say that? Who was the first person
I
you
left
said?
him out. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all three of them have won Academy Awards. Chris Hemsworth, he does a good Thor.
Oh, he does great. He's perfect for the role.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like
No one's better.
I do not dislike him at Thor at all.
I thought he was
very
great.
good at it.
Yeah.
And that's having those three incredible actors on screen with him. This should have been amazing.
Should have, and you know what? I don't blame any of the. I blame specifically the way that they did the script.
No, the script and the way this fucking movie was.
And I blame that on the producers, the screenwriter, and the investors, because I'm sure they probably had multiple revisions of the script that they added certain things into it that took away from the character arcs. It took away from the realism of the story. I
disagree with you.
You think it was just one and done?
I blame Stan Lee. If that little bitch didn't die, he would have, because he was in Endgame.
Yeah.
Make love, not war, baby.
Is this the
Woo!
first? Is this the first one where he doesn't have a cameo? That could be it, David.
First one, I'm sure he didn't have one in the Eternals. He wasn't in any of the Loki. He wasn't in WandaVision.
God damn it. Yeah, it might be right.
Yeah, first Thor movie he didn't have a cameo in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Stan Lee, I mean, if you're at this point, you either don't give a fuck who Stan Lee is, or you're big into Marvel and you know exactly who Stan Lee. He wrote all the comics.
Yeah.
And did cameos in all of the movies. It was a big, like, you go see the movie and you're like, I wonder when they're going to bring Stan Lee in, and it's always great.
Yeah.
It's always a great character that they had him be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This really disappointed me. This should have been good. Dude, like, I didn't watch them. I didn't watch all of the Thor and the Avenger movies this week so I could be let down.
Yeah.
I watched them because I was pumped for this movie.
And exactly, like, yeah, they brought the gods versus superheroes, but, and like, that's something you...
Which
but
could
other
be
than-
awesome.
But even then,
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're hypothetically thinking like, oh, maybe they'll do good with that, but you don't have a weight to be like, oh, I'm looking forward to this in particular thing happening between the gods and the superheroes. Like, I guess you could maybe think Hercules versus Thor, but even then, like, there's nothing that gives me like weight to look forward to another movie, and that's what they've always been great at doing. And like, we're criticizing one of the best franchises of all time.
Yeah,
you know,
Marvel ain't gonna lose any sleep based off the 5-6 Kings review. Like, that's not lost on us. We know they're gonna be all right. They don't give a fuck.
But hopefully they can hear a little bit of criticism, not just from us, but I feel like from a lot of people, there's going to be similar. And obviously, it's still showing from these, reviews that are online.
You were rather going to say from these numbers. Brayton has like the thing like where we record on. I was like, 'cause from these numbers, it's still showing. That's
The
like,
logistics.
because of the listenership of the 5-6 Kings podcast, it shows.
Speaking of numbers, though, it's so hard because like we just saw it, and it's like recency bias. Even though you were kind of going off of seeing the films and stuff like that, but. Oh, man, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.6.
6.6.
6.6. Yeah.
Sign of the beast.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's if I could just like stand alone and take away my expectations for the movie, pretend like I don't know who Christian Bale and Russell Crowe and Natalie Portman are, like if I just go in with a blank slate, this might have been fine.
Yeah.
Not a great movie because it's a Thor movie.
You think Christian
because it's a Thor movie with just fuck you bananas talented actors in it.
Yeah.
And this is what they fucking crapped out on the screen.
You think Christian Bale's on set just like,
I don't think he cares.
DC's so much fucking better.
No, because DC's not.
It's not.
His Batman movies were great.
Oh, dude.
There is no other DC movie that's been even good.
So like comparing to
well, if you watch the 6-hour Justice League movie, it's actually pretty watchable.
So I wasn't gonna say
you
that.
Go check that out.
But in all honesty, it's not too bad. I think it's like 4.5. But
that's insane.
But
not too bad. It's 4.5 hours. I'm not investing 4.5 hours for. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but you have to. So they're like they split them up into almost like episodes.
This isn't DC.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that.
But I will say though that the 3 Batmans that Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan did, fucking,
they were great movies.
Great movies. That's what I'm saying.
Like eliminate the comic book factor.
Oh yeah,
great movies. You couldn't eliminate the comic book factor of like the fucking Avengers.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to give it that
Batman.
feel.
You cannot know Batman was a comic book because he's not a superhero. He's a rich guy who put a fucking suit on.
Yeah.
And things got crazy. Those were great movies. Very well acted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure there was a different overall feel too, like on set. Like this is much more of like a.
This is a dark fucking drama. Were they rated R?
No, but probably just like very not very serious on set, but probably you could
absolutely
probably
very
more serious on set.
Heath Ledger died because of how seriously he took that movie.
Bro, yeah,
it's fucking bananas.
Yeah, man, just shows. Yeah. Heath Ledger, shout out to that man. R.I.P.
Very very disappointing. If you're a fan of the Marvel franchise and you disagree with us, let us know.
Yeah, let us know just like in general, like how you feel about this movie. Like I'm honestly interested to see like how other people view this movie. I think there's going to be like a lot of people who actually enjoy it because they do, for the most part, they do keep things pretty short and sweet from scene to scene. They're able to move you along pretty quickly, but there's no weight to scene. So you don't get a sense of like urgency or certain other things that you would get as the movie progresses, but they do move pretty short and sweet.
For sure. And that's it. This honestly might be like if you're not invested in. So like I give a shit about Thor. I liked the Thor movies.
Yeah.
I loved the Avenger movies.
Yep.
I love the Iron Man movies. The fucking Captain America. Like I love the franchise. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
Very well done. So, like, for this to be what they're doing now, it feels like, oh, man, are they just going to keep making movies because there's money in it and they're going to suck? And is that why Robert Downey Jr. is like, I want to be done being Iron Man? Like, I don't want to keep doing this because, like, they just want to keep making these movies, but I'm done. Like, is this the road we're going down where Marvel movies, visually, it'll still be fantastic? It's a $250 million budget. It's still going to look cool. The fucking Bifrost is still bananas looking. Like they're still going to do all of that.
So they
still in space.
So to kind of touch from what I know about the Marvel universe and kind of like what they're getting into is touching on, multiverse and
Real quick. Sorry. I wasn't fucking done. Don't
bad.
ever jump in. You might like it. If you haven't like seen all the Thor movies, seen all the Avengers, all that, it as a standalone film, it might be fine, and you might be like, oh yeah, it was a fun watch, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I was so let down by this movie.
that I would say like
worse than I was by Lost World.
The worlds that they're in and the way that they
Lost World, Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah,
this was worse for me than that. And you guys, that made my list of most disappointing.
But the thing about this Thor movie is it's very visually appealing. So they do a good job at like the way the different worlds they go to through space, all the things, like it's very visually appealing. But once again, and it's funny because this whole movie is about love, emotion, and like how to build on vulnerability and strength and different types of strength. But you don't feel that through the movie at all, or at least I didn't.
I want to feel, and you want to know what the last movie that really made me feel something was?
Dude, it's got to be The Nutty Professor.
It's The Nutty Professor, guys! I was hoping you wouldn't get it. It's The Nutty Professor, guys. So much fucking raw emotion in The Nutty Professor. It's non-fucking stop. I laughed. I cried. I shit my pants. I felt it all.
The power of Eddie Murphy.
The power of Eddie Murphy. Were you done with Thor?
I mean...
Before I...
So one other thing I was going to touch on
right.
is that lately, because what you were saying about like the Marvel universe and everything is like they're kind of touching on multiverse and Kang and Celestials.
But here's the thing. Did you watch Loki?
Yeah.
Loki was fantastic.
Loki was fantastic.
Loki was 10 episodes of fucking great.
Wanda wasn't bad. Spider-Man was pretty good. And the Multiverse of Madness was, I would say, decent. But the overall, what I'm getting to is that a lot of these movies lately, they're opening up the universe, but they're not tying together things. They're not correlating these stories to what we see like with the Infinity Stones or Thanos, like something that we can see ourselves coming towards too, like following their journeys. It's opening up the universe so we have a better understanding of Celestials, multiverse. But to me, I think what they're not doing as well, Marvel now, just to finish up everything, is I don't think they're tying everything together as well as they should. They're just opening up the universe so we understand the possibilities, that are in this reality more. But I don't think they tie in together. So we're not looking forward to more specific things like we have done in the past. And I think that's what they're lacking.
And that's the thing. And that's a fixable thing, too.
Exactly.
Like, they can still turn this around and have it be a fucking Thanos Infinity War Endgame type scenario that everything builds toward. They absolutely are they've done it.
Yeah.
They fucking did it.
Yeah.
Like, they're absolutely capable of doing that.
And I'm wondering, maybe I'm just so used to them doing it in this in particular way, and now the universe and the overall story is so much more grand and complex compared to Thanos and the Infinity War story, or Infinity Stone War, or Infinity Stones, I should say, story. But maybe it just takes more time is what I'm getting to. Maybe they just need more of these solo dolo movies to expand on the universe before they can start to tie things together. I don't know. I'm just saying I just wish they would kind of bring things together more so.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this is them starting to.
Me too.
I'm hoping, like, because the Greek gods, that's a new thing that's been introduced. It was the credit scene. That's going to be a fucking major thing moving forward.
Yeah.
Great. Do something awesome with it, Marvel.
Yeah.
Do something awesome with it.
Get me hyped.
Yeah.
I want to be nervous.
Or don't, because for a while I'm still going to go see your fucking movies.
Yeah.
Like you have.
You're still going to make money.
You've built up enough to where you have like.
You can do whatever. Almost.
For me personally, you got like 10 shitty movies.
Before I'm like,
all right, I'm just done with Marvel.
Yeah.
Like it's no longer a thing I do, and that's okay.
But see, and it's probably going to get a lot more wild and complex with different universes. Now they're going to be adding in the X-Men, like the mutants, as well as just different superheroes, like how we're seeing with Hercules and the gods. I'm sure it's going to become way more grand, and there's probably a lot of things that they need to simplify before they can tie it together.
I forgot they were going to tie in X-Men. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. And so they showed that in Multiverse of Madness, little spoiler, everyone probably already knows, they showed Professor X.
If we're sitting here spoiling the Thor movie, no one's gonna be upset if you spoil a movie that came out. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things to look forward to. I just wish they would tie it together more so I can feel it more. Because now I'm just like hypothetically thinking about shit rather than like knowing that they're gonna bring these things for sure into like this storyline or together in this way.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
And here's the thing. Like, everything Braden said there, I personally wouldn't care about that much if this was just a good movie.
Yeah. But it wasn't.
At the end of the day, make a good movie and I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're not, at least tease us and give us...
At least build on the fucking story.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now Thor has a kid, and I'm not excited.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not excited about the kid.
And the kid's got powers that, like, well, how the fuck did it get powers? Like, I don't care to know. Like, you should have explained it.
Dude, what powers does she have?
The powers from Thor. Thor's power. The hammer.
She's got the power of Thor.
But
she was holding the axe, too.
But her eyes... But she shot, remember? She shot laser beams out of her eyes.
It's the power of Thor.
That's not Thor's power, baby.
He does lightning out of his eyes.
But that wasn't
His eyes
lightning.
light up.
That was
but
purple laser
But she's
beams.
a girl, so it's purple. Yeah, it's the power of Thor, Brayden.
Someone's going to be on here like, David, you don't fucking understand.
So, Nutty Professor, ha, 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 ha. No new movie next week. Because it's time, guys. It's time, Brayden. You excited?
I'm excited.
You excited?
I'm excited.
The first annual 5-6 King Award Show.
Fuck yeah.
Dropping next week, next Monday. I'm excited. I know the winners.
I don't want to know the winners.
Braden fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
Braden doesn't. I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, I'm going to
Braden
find out.
doesn't.
Same
You
time
fucking
guys will.
don't. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, go to the website. You can't vote on the website anymore, but check it out. A lot of great stuff on the website. Every new episode posts every Monday. I didn't post. Dude, it's sat. If you ever go on the website and notice that we're missing an episode, call me and tell me, hey, we're missing a fucking episode.
Okay.
It sat in my drafts just waiting. I just had to go in and click publish.
Oh.
And then Magic Mike was up the same day Sandlot was.
That hurts.
Magic Mike's just a whole week not up there. Yeah, and I look, why isn't Magic Mike? And I looked in my drafts, I was like, oh, because I didn't click publish.
Fuck.
I finished it, I saved it, and then I just moved on with my life. Yeah.
That was a whole week that you guys were just missing.
The whole
some
week, you guys
hits
were like,
turning.
did they do an episode? What happened?
Yeah.
Because naturally, everyone only gets their 5-6 King info from the website.
Don't worry, we got down and sexy that week.
Boy, did we.
Yeah.
Boy, did we. But guys, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button.
Please.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment on your thoughts on the movie.
Come on.
Thoughts on our take on the movie. Follow us on Instagram at 56Kings. That's FIVESIXKING.
S.
On Instagram. 56kings.com is your one-stop shop for all things 5-6 Kings, guys.
Goddamn right.
Braden, they know when to do all this. They know, or not when. They don't know when. That's the one thing
they
they don't know.
They don't know.
They know where to go.
Where?
YouTube, the 5-6. Just go to the website. You get it everywhere.
Everywhere.
Audio's everywhere.
Boom.
Instagram, YouTube. But when are new episodes of the 5-6 Kings podcast coming out? When should everybody go to 56kings.com?
David, it's every motherfucking Monday.
Every motherfucking Monday. So like 4th of July was last week.
Yeah.
Did a new episode come out last
You're
week?
goddamn right.
Oh my God. Every motherfucking Monday?
Every motherfucking Monday.
Martin Luther King Day?
Every Monday.
But
we don't discriminate.
Well, you say it comes out that day because you say it's not a real holiday, and like why are the banks closed? It's fucking bullshit. This isn't a real holiday. Of course, yeah, we're recording today, David. I don't care what you had planned to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. We're recording a podcast. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll be there, sir. That's how it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I mean, if you want to see Thor: Love and Thunder, Braden, where can they see it?
At the theaters?
Only in theaters.
Oh, only in yeah.
Only in theaters.
Only in theaters.
Go check it out. It's cool. It's a Marvel movie still, but it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week. I love you all very much.
Peace out.